Hello, my name is Draguni, but you can call me Gooner. So I have a problem. I like to do mapping in CS2, but I've been stuck on the same map for 2 years now. I did make other maps, but I quickly abandoned them, so I started a new one. One of my friends, OlafTW, has started a series on his channel where he documents the changes on his new map, and that inspired me to do that as well, since I started to make a new one. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a good mapper, but I know how to make a map and I know the do's and don'ts. So let us start. So I like to base my maps off of a reference, like a city in real life or a theme, whatever. I always wanted to have a theme where a city or town is guarded by walls, like surrounded by them. So I chose Dubrovnik as a reference because not only is it a walled city, it is also a coastal city and it's in Croatia, and I've always wanted to make a Croatian map. So by looking at these references, you can also get ideas of how you want to implement some things into gameplay. So the first example I'm gonna use is this picture right here. It's kind of pixelated, but that's not a problem. So there's this very cool fort going on, and there's a bridge in the middle, right? So I had an idea. Why not make it so that these come from this side and they can shoot the other cities who are on this side, right? But also, if they wanted, they could come around here and go down here and eventually go up to A main. Like, that is an example of getting a reference and getting ideas for your map. I can show them in game. So here's how I did it in game, or in Hammer. Hammer is the software, by the way. So, as I've mentioned before, these come from here, and the cities different from here. What I'm planning to do is I'm gonna add like little windows over here so that this isn't like a linear fight. Also, because of this right here. So, because the T's have an option to go down here, the cities also get exposed to two angles in the same time. So, I'm gonna give them an option that they can peek from another angle much safer. So let me do that real quick to show you how I would do that. I'm just gonna do it very primitively for a second. I'm not gonna do it like I'm gonna do it a little simple block out first. Then I'll show you the proper ways. I'm gonna tweak it basically. My God, can't speak. So I'm just gonna extrude this face right here. Let me see this. Hold on, I have a better idea. And blah blah blah. So I'm gonna Alt N to make this into mesh. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna, yeah, there we go. And I'm gonna put it like this, align it to this. Gonna connect these two. B. Let me dissolve this edge. So can I have a little platform here? Let's just do this for a second. Okay, let's call it a day here. So I'm gonna make like a few holes here. Oh, hold on. I gotta make the other side of the wall here. Alright. So we got ourselves a wall here, right? I'm gonna do this part later, but I just wanted to demonstrate what I wanted to do here. So I said I wanted to do little windows, right? So in the medieval times, you would have these like little windows so that people could shoot arrows through them. So I'm gonna go to a lower grid size, I'm gonna do Shift X, that is the keybind to cut something, or actually, I'm gonna use C and then V to circle around. And since I have my reference to player height here, I'm gonna make it so that a part of their body is peeking as well, uh, to eliminate headshot angles. Headshot angles are basically uncomfortable angles where your head is the only thing that peaks, and this makes it frustrating for the other player to fight you. So we're gonna do this, space this out a little bit. There we go. Let's say these are our two windows. Oops, didn't cut the way I wanted it to. Fuck me. Oh well, no problem. I'm just gonna do this and I'm gonna line and like works like a dream. There we go. So now we got these little windows here. I'm just gonna bridge them together. That's gonna be a little awkward to fight, but that's no problem. I can just make these walls a little less thicker. But I think this is gonna be enough for just a torso and a head to peak. So let us check that out. Okay, we can lower it a little bit. We can lower this a little bit. Let's say, yep, this goes well. We can lower this a little bit. And there we go. We got a nice little fight, safe fight thingamajig going on, right? So, not only this, but I'm gonna give the T's an opportunity to have like a little heaven up here, so they can also have a fight into A main. Great. So we did that. Good job. So another very cool thing that I've seen in my references is I saw this room right here, and I decided to recreate it in my map. This is gonna be the B site. I disconnected it because when I made the layout, when I was doing the blueprint for the layout, I wasn't sure how I wanted to connect it and yada yada. So I just opted to first make the site and then I'll think about the paths later. So I'm thinking I have these two floors that you can play on. I'll probably block this off or something like here. And basically, I'm gonna have. Ooh, that's very tight in it. Yeah, that's okay. So, what I was thinking, I make one entrance here, as you can see on the blueprint. Make one entrance here, it goes out to a gallery type thing, and it goes out to CT spawn, which is gonna be somewhere here, right? The other one is gonna be up here somewhere, which is also gonna go to an extension of the gallery. Oops, sorry. But this one's gonna end up in mid, so it's gonna work as a connector. So this is gonna make it easier for CTs to retake the site. So my idea for this is this site is gonna be on an angle. So the T's are gonna go into main. As you can see on the blueprints, there's gonna be a heaven for the T's here, and they can fight the guy who's also here through this window. I find that to be okay. And so they can take this, they can come in here, they can, if they want to progress, they can hide behind these two as well. I like how there's like this empty space. Having empty space on sites isn't necessarily bad. It can even be better than having every bit of cover everywhere. it makes more opportunity for grenades, smokes, molotovs, and yada yada. So it's good for utility. Um, I put the two doorways instead of one on purpose so that you can smoke one out and you can focus on one main rather than having to watch two. So my idea for this side, I'm gonna put a statue here, as you can see on the reference, and the side's gonna be like this, something like this, right? I'm gonna have here be a cubby, basically somewhere that you can hide on a post-plan situation. So I'm just gonna bring this here a little bit. Oops, my bad, my bad, Jet. Let's do a little bit more. There we go. Perfect. Let's bring these two as well. Gee, I have insane meshwork. In my mapping community, people like to poke fun at my meshwork. But I don't mind. They have good reasons. My meshwork's pretty bad. As I've said before, I'm not a good mapper. Not the best one. So, yeah. This is gonna be a cubby for post plant where the terrorist can chill. One of the positions where the terrorist can chill. I'm also contemplating, I'm gonna think about it. Maybe I'm not gonna have this much verticality on site going on. I think I'm gonna block this side. Yeah, I think I'm gonna block this side off with like some bookshelves or I don't know. So that there's a little less complexity going around and whatever, so that it's easier to retake. But I'll see about that in the next playtest. And I'm just already gonna make a doorway for the for the holy shit, I can't talk, for the beacon. So we do this. Perfect. I'm not gonna make it too deep because in doorways you wanna make sure that people are gonna feel comfortable playing around the doorways. Like they're gonna have enough space to like peek there, peek that. Oh, I just noticed the thing. So if I'm gonna peek out as a CT or T or whatever, there's a problem right here. It's a 50-50 angle. So what it means is that a person standing here is the same angle as the person standing here. So that means I'm walking into a 50-50. But if I let this person have enough space here, oh, but it's too deep anyway. Well, that's a shame. So I'm gonna add a little depth to this wall. So what I made here is basically this person can't be in too deep now because of this block. So if he's gonna be standing here, he will be able to be cleared. If a guy's gonna peek from here, he's gonna be cleared from here, and then you can peek out this safely. Perfect. And so for my last reference that I'm gonna explain to you, I took this for a reference. I'm gonna use this as a connector, as you can see in the blueprint. So my idea is that when the T's come up here, if they can't win over mid, that they can rotate safely to somewhere else, that being a con. So they can just jump down and they can make sound. They will make sound, the cities will know, but at least they rotated. And I find that quite gimmicky and quite cool. And this is gonna be the last thing in this video. I hope you enjoyed this, and this is basically how you can get a lot of cool ideas just by looking at the references of where you want to set this map. Of course, a lot of people like to make a gray box or a layout without thinking about theme first. But me personally, I like to think about a theme first and they make a layout, because then you can take these kinds of things and implement them in your map to make a cool gimmick. Okay, so that would be it for this video. Dragoonie out. See you guys.